The astrology behind Nicki Minaj and Megan Thee Stallion's natal charts when it comes to winning. Mars in your chart is how you win. Mars in your chart is the planet of war. And so the house that Mars falls in will tell you who's going to go to war with you and probably over what exactly. So this actually breaks the illusion that we can only win by one way. And the idea that you are competing with yourself really stands in astrology, because sometimes in the art of war, when you compete on somebody else's terrain, you may not do so well, but if you compete in your own, you'll appear to be a winner. So I'm not here to determine the winner, but I'm here to show you how to strategize based off of Mars. We're first going to look at Megan Thee Stallion's chart, and you'll see that Mars for her is in the fourth house. So how she wins versus how Nicki would win would be different. Let's look at where Mars is in Nicki's chart. We see here that in Nicki's chart, Mars is actually in the 11th house. And her Mars is pretty mature, I would say. It's at 28 degrees in Capricorn, which also is significant with the moment that I'm reading this, because Pluto has just crossed over her Mars over the past few months. So we see here that Megan Thee Stallion has Mars in the fourth house, which means that someone will go to war with you over shelter or living arrangements. Now, this is a basic breakdown, but also with the fourth house, we're looking at someone going over the war with you over your emotional stability. So someone would try to break your emotional foundation, and that's how they could win over you. When it comes to Nicki, she has Mars in the 11th house, so someone will go to war with you over your friends or alliances. This is common that we find with Nicki because she is able to win over a crowd of supporters. That's what the 11th house is. So again, this is a basic breakdown. There's so much more in the Mars worksheets if you'd like to see them below. But you'll see here that with Nicki having Mars in the 11th house, someone will go to war with you over your friends or alliances, or they will try to take down your supporters, your fan club. So, and also these are the people who will fight for you, right? So Nicki's fan club is very strong. A lot of the times we get distracted by other people when we're in competition, and we start to want things that other people want versus what we truly want. Now, when it comes to astrology, it's not telling you exactly what you want, but it is kind of showing you the direction, right? So you may want what you want, but your astrology will also help you determine what you want, if that makes sense. So Megan Thee Stallion has a Mars and Leo in the fourth house. So this directional want for her Mars has a lot to do with winning the stage. And specifically, the fourth house can be, like I said, your shelter, your home, your emotional stability. It can also mean your hometown. So when we put it together, she's winning the stage of her hometown, which is Texas, I believe, right? And you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's also Houston. So this is really cool because Mars will show us what is needing to be conquered. And Megan Thee Stallion wants to conquer the reputation of Houston, Texas. She wants to represent Houston and be the name of Houston, the representation of Houston. She wants Houston to be her stage. So she'll use the attributes, the alliances, and the features that make one a Houstonian or a Texan to showcase her strength. So she's using the style, the aesthetic, the talents that are unique to her hometown and using that as her strength. No one else can be Megan Thee Stallion, right? Because your Mars is your differences, unless you are at least somewhere from her hometown. So she's saying that there's something very unique about where she comes from that makes her a winner. Nicki Minaj, on the other hand, is Mars in Capricorn in the 11th house. So, this is why it's very different. She wants a legacy, Mars in Capricorn. So, that is her need to conquer, right? And also she's conquering the business because Capricorn is a business sign, right? Now she also has Mars again in the 11th house, which is also about conquering the fandom, having that kingdom of fans, right? Which would also help her conquer the business. So you'll see that according to these two charts that I got from Astro Theme, these two beautiful women are seeming to be oppositional in force, but they're fighting for very different things. And so their strategy is going to be different. So now that we can put this together, right, and the worksheets go in more depth because you can use Aries in your chart and Mars in your chart because these are both, you know, ruling over each other, right? But let's go to Megan. Megan is going to be winning, right? Mars in the fourth house by initiating compassion. So how do I see this? In Cobra, she initiates compassion to the listeners and getting people to see that she has gone through a lot of depression and difficult stuff. That is how she's initiating compassion. In the recent breakdown of Hiss, which is what inspired me to do this video, she actually wins by initiating compassion for victims of sexual assault by basically calling out, you know, predators in her own way. So that is Megan's lethal win. Okay, so what is Nicki's win? So let's just review. Her Mars is in Capricorn, right, in the 11th house. So she has a completely different way that she needs to strategize to win. And a lot of that has to do with calling on her support system, her 11th house of her support system. So Mars in the 11th house is winning by remaining detached as well as calling on your support system. So this allows her to actually gain more momentum when she isn't too overbearing, right? And too in the middle of things. There's a level of detachment that could help her win. Also, when you're thinking about creating new standards, okay? Because her Mars is in Capricorn. Capricorn is a ruling type of energy. So when she creates new standards and remains detached, this is how Nicki's winning strategy would be according to her chart on Astro Theme. So I hope that this gives you guys an idea on how you can utilize your own Mars in your chart. And if you'd like to know more, check, I'll put a link down in the comments so that you can get the Mars worksheets and start strategizing your own win.